Welcome back to Ready or Not Latinas Here We Come podcast. This episode, we are having our special guest. Woo-hoo. But before we get into that, unfortunately, Joanna is not here due to a little accident she had. And then Jessica también, pobrecita, my little sister, not little sister, but my older sister, she does have COVID, unfortunately. Pero, you know, hopefully we can, she can say a little bit something. Yeah, but she's getting better. But yes, our guest for today. So Yessie, do you want to do the honors?
I sure do.
Okay.
So I did spoke of her on episode 2. So it is my little sister Giselle.
Yay! Oh, hello. I got a little nervous.
So you are our special guest. How do you feel?
I feel honored to be the first guest on your podcast.
Yay!
Yay.
I was gonna do it again, but no.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I don't know if you guys know, but she had a podcast a while back.
I mean, I still have it. I just haven't uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
She's
been lazy.
Why? How come? I heard a few of your episodes. Tenías one or two, no?
Yeah, I had a couple.
She had like
and
4.
I heard them.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cousin, I see you.
I need to get back on it.
You should.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. You got the boys, girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna go ahead and just like, I guess, como que interview her.
Okay.
Ask her
a few questions.
All
right, girl. So what? Are you gonna go back to podcast?
So my boyfriend and I have been thinking of starting our own podcast, like a couple podcast. So maybe that's up in the air.
That's fun. It's fun, but it does take a lot of time.
It does, but then we've had a lot of moments recently where we're like, what should we do with our day? So I feel like those are great opportunities.
They're very funny.
Yeah, so I feel like those are like great opportunities for us to like just record.
Yeah, when you have,
Yeah.
Are you guys like, but do you guys have the time to do it?
Oh, yeah, we have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you should do it. Just prepare it because it was pretty hard. But I mean, you already have one, so
you have experience.
Yeah. I think it would just be like revamping the entire thing, like changing the name, changing stuff, or just starting one on our own.
I look at the receipt. You can keep yours and then have one separately where you can upload on both.
True. That's so true. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that
idea. Great thinking. Mm-hmm. Great minds think alike.
So I haven't seen you in a while. Just saying, you know, not to put you on the spot or anything like that. But we're cousins. But we haven't seen each other in a while, and because she does live like a little far from me, but we haven't seen each other like that. I do have her on social media. I think on one of our social medias. I think
Instagram.
Know. Probably Instagram.
Creo que sí, Instagram.
Yeah, it might be Instagram.
How you been? How's I know, like, you're in college. What's up? Like, what's up?
So I'm going back to college this fall.
Okay. What are you going for?
So I'm getting my degree in applied behavior analysis.
Okay.
So my current job, ABA. My current job right now is working with kids that are on the spectrum.
Okay.
So
what do you mean on the spectrum?
Like the autism spectrum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my goal is to become like the position that above mine. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very nice job.
It is. And she has a lot of patience. And she's so good with the kids because, girl, she's so good with our kids, with mine and my other sister's kids. She's so good with them.
Dang,
so it's
perfect. I could not imagine I'm just such a crybaby or like such a baby. I feel like I would baby them too much.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And then and her job is like, it's the opposite of babying them.
It's getting them right. Like, hablándoles bien and like
making them independent.
Treating them like if they're real, like not real. Of course they're real.
Yeah,
but like, como que no están, oh my God. Como que no están like malos, you know? Like, I know, it came out wrong. That's not what I meant.
It's okay. Girl. It's okay.
La gente los entiende.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And you did say your boyfriend. So tell me about that. How long have you been with your boyfriend?
Okay. Why'd you look at me like that?
I don't know. It's just the I think sister instinct, the like girl, which won't say.
Okay. Well,
Tell me.
Anyways, I'm gonna pretend she's not here right now.
Okay, just me and you.
Yeah, we've been together for 4 months now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it was kind of unexpected. And yes, he knows this. I didn't want to date for a while. I was like in this like focused on me kind of situation, I guess. Like life I mean, I'm still living life.
Getting to know yourself.
Getting to know myself and all this stuff. And I told myself like I wasn't going to date. And then out of nowhere, like I don't know what got into me that I downloaded Bumble.
Oh, but it's a nombre just by saying Bumble. I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
So, anyways, yeah, we met on there, and like, so, oh my God, should I tell her the story of the
Wait, but is it a dating site or is it just like like a chilling, like you get to know people?
El otro, ¿cómo se llama? El de swipe left, swipe right.
Tinder.
Tinder is kind of like that.
But Tinder is more for like hoes, I feel like. Not to call anyone out. No. Like, but I feel like if you go on there, it's like for hookups.
Okay.
Bumble and like Hinge are more for like if you're wanting to date.
The date es lo que te iba a preguntar, que si era like you know,
it's like a more
site.
It's more of a serious dating site.
Karina notes.
No,
I'm okay right now.
No,
I suck at websites.
Yeah,
I can't even stay. Well,
it's awkward, no? Like getting to meet all these new people and like the first introduction with all these random folks. Like, that's hard.
A little bit. It is hard to get to know.
There.
Yes,
especially if you were like in the dating scene with someone for a while.
Yeah. Yes,
having to hop back in and being like, "What's your favorite color?" All over again.
No, ¿qué preguntas? ¿Poco you really ask what's your favorite color?
No, but like basic questions like that, like
like those type of
have you always grown up here? Like like those types of questions. Yeah,
but that just makes it awkward. Like maybe because I'm old school.
We had if I had like my long relationship, he was basically considered my husband. So now for me, like talking así, like kind of weird.
It's weird, right?
Heck yeah. Okay, so lo conociste en Bumble.
In Bumble, yes. So so backstory. A little bit prior to me going on this date, I spoke to a clairvoyant.
Oh, yes.
And if you guys don't know what a clairvoyant is, it's kind of like a psychic.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
because I don't know if y'all know, we're like brujitas over here. We like the spiritual stuff.
Yeah, I like it too.
We're really into like spiritual things.
We're into crystals and herbs.
Like we'll go with our mom to the crystal store.
Okay.
My mom loves it too.
We like that. So like she decided to do this.
Okay.
So I didn't, and the clairvoyant that I spoke to is like really like well known.
Okay.
And she told me that I would be meeting someone that was like 4 years older than me.
Okay.
And she told me that she saw this happening like on July 4th because she saw fireworks and all this stuff. She said I would see a wording that only like I would know, like something like that. And she told me like a whole bunch of stuff that like I had never told anyone either. Okay.
And that's when you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, because she kind of like told me what my personality is like and all this stuff, and I'm like, that's true.
My God.
And like even brought up like father figures and stuff, and we have an absent father figure. It validated. It really did validate. So anyways, so she told me I would be meeting this person. I got the urge to download Bumble.
Okay.
And then like a few days later I met him.
Okay.
And of course,
and we were over here counting.
At the time, his bio said 26. Keep in mind, I'm 23. So I was doing the math. I was like, damn, that's 3. That's not, he's not it.
He's not it. And I was like, no, ella me hablaba. And I'm like, how old is he? I don't know. And let me figure it out. And then I'd be like, remember, 4 years. And we're over there counting.
Yeah, we're counting. We're like, damn, that's 3. That's not it.
No, and then we're like, in July. Why?
And why July? Yeah.
Checking the month.
We were like in March.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's not adding up. So then 2 days passed by and he tells me it's his birthday and he's gonna be 27. So I was like, oh, there's the 4, bitch.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my God. So you were like, okay.
So then I was like, okay, so I guess this is him, but I still don't understand July 4th.
Yeah.
So like I said, I work with kids that are on the spectrum, and one of my kids was like obsessed with this movie called Raya and the Dragon.
Oh, like that's a very good movie.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a part, I don't know where my head was, but he started saying, "Those are the fireworks." Like he kept repeating, "Those are the fireworks." And as I look at what he was looking at, it was fireworks on the Raya screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was saying those are the fireworks.
Okay.
And
That's
at the
insane.
time in my head, I was thinking, but what does she mean fireworks? Like I was zoning out at work and he said that. And I got chills because I was like, oh, is that what she meant?
Yeah.
It
Oh,
connects.
it
Yeah.
could be.
Like
Even-
it all connected.
You know how she said like only you would know.
Yeah.
And the fact that like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I
like,
just got goosebumps again too.
It was just so weird. And I was like, okay.
that's cool though.
And that same day was our first date.
Okay.
And yeah.
The same day you saw the fireworks and the
The
TV?
same day. Yeah.
Pero fíjate, and you know me being the older sister, I'm like, because I feel like online dating is like, it's scary because
Okay,
you don't
yeah.
know who they are, right? And I was like, girl, what is his name? Because I'm over here trying to do background check
Yeah,
and everything.
she's
I was like, give me his
crazy.
name. I was like, what's his name? And she gave me his first name. I'm like, what's his last name? And she's like, I don't know yet.
Why you gotta put me-
Yeah. And I was like, girl, give me that. Because I was like, girl, you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
What
Es que
if it's
tanta
like
Rosa de
a...
Guadalupe es que vemos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gotten
I mean, I met him already. He's such a nice dude. He's very cool. And like, my mom and the stepdad,
They approve.
They approve.
for once of someone.
See, yeah.
So how was the date?
So the date, we were supposed to go get tacos that day. And then the place that we were I was talking to her on the phone this entire
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I was calling her. I was like, oh, the taco place is closed. Like, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, for whatever reason, it was like a random Wednesday and it was closed.
What the heck?
And I was like, what the heck? So then we both were like, hey, you know, I think we should go somewhere else. So we ended up getting sushi. And we stayed there and we didn't realize it was already closing time. Like we almost like got kicked out. The lady's like, hey, just so you know, we're closing.
Yeah.
Like you guys need to leave. Like
Yeah, you guys were talking the
but
whole
we
time.
we clicked so well like the first day. Like, you know, it was just
Yeah.
kind of like I never like had felt that before.
Okay.
And then he walked me to my car and everything. And like
That's
we
so nice.
both
Such a gentleman.
now you know that we've been dating, we both said like we did want the date to like continue, like you
Yeah.
know, but obviously we didn't want to be weird about it on the
Yeah.
first date. And so
Weirdos.
yeah.
To spend so much time
No,
longer
but like
together.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like if you meet them, you're like that's Giselle in a man version because
Oh, wow,
their
that's good.
personality are
It matches.
yes, they're the same. It's like, am I talking to Giselle or am I talking
Yeah.
to him? Like, yeah,
We're
it is
literally
so
the
nice.
same
He's so
person.
chill.
Cool.
Yeah, he's really chill.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
congrats. That
thank
sounds
you.
exciting. You
Thank
kind of gave
you.
me like, oh, yeah, I would love something
and you
like
want to
that.
know something else? I looked up. Well, not that I looked up, but I found they said that couples that go on first dates to sushi places, they're the ones that last long term.
Girl,
Like it's like prove. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but yeah.
it's the Chinese vibes, the Asian
Chinese
vibes, girl.
vibes, the
you know
Asian
they
vibes.
believe in
Lucky
them
cat.
feng shui and all that stuff, girl. I believe in all that.
That's nice.
But
That's very good. Okay.
That's her love story.
Yeah. Is
That's
he
pretty cool.
Hispanic?
He's Mexican.
He's Mexican. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. Honestly, yo no veo, like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, the age. And
Yeah.
honestly, like, the age
age
to me
doesn't
is,
really
yeah,
matter.
It
like,
doesn't matter.
it just, like you said, the vibe. And if you connect, you can feel
Yeah.
it. Like, and you can, I'm just that type of person that, like, I meet, like, okay, I met a guy that he was 2-3 years younger than me, but he seemed older. And at first, the vibe was so cool. Like, I was like, okay. But then, like, later on, I was like, damn, he's a kid. Like, then the vibe was so off. Like, I didn't feel trust. As soon as my little gut feeling, like, gives me that, like, oh, no. Like, as soon as I start doubting or, like, questioning myself.
Yeah, but always go with
I'm
that.
just like,
Yeah.
no. And I did. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And one time we went on a date. And he was like, okay, if I ask you, let's go on a date. You know, obviously I have something in mind, right? He's like,
Yeah.
okay, so where are we
Yes.
going? What? You asked me on a date. What do you mean, where are we
What?
going?
What?
And like our
No,
first
I
2
used,
times
like-
we met,
Cut him
like I did choose the spot. Like I did say, like, because he did
You
say, oh, let's
suggested
go on a date. And he was like, oh, where would you want to go? You know, he asked me. And this time, I don't know, it was just this last time was just kind of weird to me. I was like, and I told him, like, that day I got pretty upset because I was like, damn, like, what you mean? Like,
It's
where
just
are
a
we
waste of
going?
time, yeah.
And I was like, wait, you invited me. What do you mean, where are we going? Like, you should have something in mind.
Yeah.
And he was like, but I don't. And I was just like, you know what? It's fine. I kind of lied. I was like, oh, I have either way, I have to be back like around 8 or 9. I have a party I'm going to.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, then never mind. Just forget about it. I said, okay.
So no, él no quería.
Y desde ahí, girl, I never texted that man back. He never texted me back either. And then, I'm not going to lie, I went on Instagram and I searched him up and he blocked me.
Wow.
I was like, fuck you. You're a kid either way. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, like, I was like, ¿qué te hice? But fuck you. Just because I told you, like, what do you mean?
You
like,
insulted his manhood.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Just maybe because I questioned him and the way I questioned him too, it was kind of like, eh. Yeah, I got kind of.
But also, if you're asking someone on a date, you should be like already planning where you're gonna take that person.
Yeah,
exactly. Not be like, where do you want to go? Like, that's such a turn off.
Yeah,
or if they don't know, like
Huge
before that day comes, like, hey, like, tell me what you like, suggest something, and then los dos you come up with something.
Yes.
Yeah,
but if he
not
didn't
laying
do
it
that,
all on you.
Yeah,
like,
and I was like, okay, now you just wanna, now you give me like that type of vibes that you just want to like have sex or something like that. Like, no, boo, it's not about I don't want to do that. If I want to do that, like, I can find me somebody just for a hook, but no, like, I want to get to know somebody, you know, something like that.
But it's scary to get to know somebody randomly like that, because you don't really know.
At all.
Men or women out there.
Definitely.
I mean, you have to keep in mind, there's a lot of human trafficking.
Yes, definitely. And I was just about to say something else too. I had a homeboy that I have not seen him since elementary school. And we found each other he found me on Instagram, he added me or whatever, and then he was like, hey, te acuerdas de mí, whatever. He's Puerto Rican. I was like, yeah. And then, but he does look different. Like, he's so like taller, and like he had just came from the army, so his hair was like cut off, and you know, he looked big and stuff, and I was like, holy shit. And then you know how I sometimes post stuff up on my work or whatever, and then he was like, oh, I'm actually around your area. And I said, my area. And I said, I'm working. And he was like, yeah, where by your job? And I was like, oh, okay. And then whatever. And then he's like, oh, can I come and say hi?
But how he knew where you were working?
Because sometimes I post on my Instagram stuff, and I tag it, and I like,
what the heck?
Look at me.
Already putting your job.
Okay.
I'm gonna beat that out for you, girl. Don't worry.
Yeah, beat that out for me. Anyways, but yeah, and like at that point when he said that, I just didn't respond, because I was like, what the heck? No. And I don't want to be mean and say no. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So I didn't respond. Girl, when I hear that ding ding, somebody comes in and whatever, I'm working and I'm not the front desk anymore. So I'm doing my job. Yeah. So cuando voy mirando para el lado, I see him and I'm just like, hi. Like, hey, like, I didn't even know what to do at that point. I was still kind of sitting on my seat, like, hey.
Oh my God. That's so awkward, too, because what do you do with him there? You're working.
Exactly. And I was like, and that's an office.
That's invading your privacy. Like,
a little bit. And then I was like, hey. And then fui me paré. I went towards the front, kind of like towards the front. And I was like, hey, like, hi. He was like, yeah, you didn't respond to me. So I just pulled up. Like, I'm just saying hi. Great. Yes. And he was like, I'm just saying hi. And I was like, oh, hey. Like, at that point after that, I was like, okay, you're giving me, first of all, clingy vibes, just because like, you know, I said, hey, yes, that I remember of you, and we weren't even like that in middle school. We were friends. Like, we never even spoke. He always had girlfriends and stuff like that. So it kind of threw me off. So that's it's freaking weird.
Yeah, no, you have to be careful with that, like putting info out there, and because you don't know. And I
hadn't seen him in years too. So that was another weird thing. Like, no es como si eras mi ex-boyfriend and like you just pulled up, like you gave me creepy vibes.
Yeah, no, and you gotta be careful, because Joanna sent me some stuff that she had looked up. Do you know that Florida is the third ranking for
Orlando?
Oh, I saw
Orlando, Florida.
Yes.
For human trafficking.
Yes,
that's
Orlando,
crazy.
Yeah, and like we have to be careful, because especialmente nosotros de mujeres.
Yeah.
And if you have kids too, like nos enfocamos mucho en the kids, like, oh, se están peleando, agárrame la mano, deja ahí.
Yeah.
You're like the main target for someone.
Sí, que se te olvida ver
they're
tu
watching.
alrededor. Yes, and they're watching. And that's the creepiest part. Like, uno de mujer piensa like, si se me ponen, yo también me pongo. Okay, sí te puedes poner, pero si ¿qué tal si son más de una persona?
Yeah. It usually is.
That's
I've seen, because I was looking up stuff and like, cosas and stuff like that online. And I did run up on a few videos where there would be like one girl where she's like, oh my God, like these two women, they're just following me around the store or asking me weird questions like, oh, do you like this? But like both of them, like I'm just like, damn. And I, looking at the video, like si se ve weird. And the lady's like, okay, I understand you cross somebody at the store maybe twice, 3 times maybe, the store.
Pero es muy
but
raro.
more
It's
than 5
rare.
times, that is not okay. If I'm running like towards you, like in the store, nos cruzamos more than 5 times, like that's weird. And the lady started recording and she's like, you see, look, and she's like holding her phone in front of her, but you can see like the 2 women were
in
behind.
That's
Un poco like 2 little lines behind her, but
Pero cercas para que te pongan nerviosa.
Are you okay, Giselle? Are you that person when you go to the store? Do you look at your surroundings or you're just shopping?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just shopping.
Está bien, no, es bien descuidada.
I am. Okay, not gonna lie.
Se pone nerviosa, ansiosa.
I do. My anxiety gets the best of me. But one time when I was on campus, there was a lady who asked me like if she could use my phone. And so she looked like an older lady. I was like, oh, so I let her use my phone. And then she started saying like, oh, I'm from a church and all this stuff. You should come and visit us. And she's like, here's my number. And she like called her phone from my phone.
Or what?
She sent me like an address. She's like, come here to this address and all this stuff. And I was kind of sketched out by it. And at the time they were telling college students to be careful because there was like people that were acting like they were from a church that were kidnapping girls. So I clicked on the address and it was in the middle of nowhere here in Florida, like in a bosque. Like she thought like how she's so dumb though. Like I was gonna click on that address and see.
Cuidado porque qué tal si te agarran tu teléfono y ya se te ponen pinged with their direction. And now they're gonna follow you porque le dices tú tu teléfono. Porque
I know. I was dumb. I was really dumb.
En su mano. They can do anything.
They be doing weird stuff with the phones.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So after she left and everything, you pinged the address and you seen that.
Yeah, and I saw it. And then the next day she was there again talking to other girls.
Oh my God.
So then I approached other girls that were on the campus and I asked them like what she had like messaged them and they said like an address too. And we reported it to security up front.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they put out a warning.
Yeah, ves. It was an older lady. And she gave you like, oh, esta señorita, no. She looks fine. She looks nice.
Pendejita, no me la voy a llevar. No va a decir nada. No, pero déjame decirte, también a mí me pasó algo. Porque yo andaba con mi mamá and my kids.
Okay.
Fuimos a una tienda ya close to the Florida Mall. Obviously, if you're from Central Florida, you know how busy it gets like close to the Florida Mall because it's all como tourism.
Oh, yeah.
So, nosotros entramos y I don't even know if but anyways, so as soon as we walked into the store, un hombre, no sé, me dio una vibra tan mal.
Yeah.
Y fue como de esos momentos que cuando tú vas entrando, you feel like somebody's watching you. So I turned and it was this bald, fat, ugly man, pero era hispano, se miraba hispano, ¿verdad? Y al momento que nosotros entramos, I felt like he was following me. Pero no le puse tanta atención, sino que I was aware of it.
Yeah, like you locked eyes with him. He gave you right away weird vibes.
So I went along. I was with my daughter. I was going through the aisles.
Yeah.
And whatnot, and we were like just así. Y de repente, like I would see him like go by one aisle. And then, like, I would see him again, and I was like, okay, maybe it's just me because the store is a bit small.
It had already crossed your mind, so now you're like, okay, now lo estoy mirando maybe
too many times. And I was like, okay. So then this is when I tested it out because I was already at the point where I was already nervous.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's test this out. So I went to the aisle de los hombres, a la ropa de los hombres. I was like, oh, let's go over here. Let's see what we find over here.
Yeah.
So me and my daughter go, and I'm going around, and I see him like two racks down from we were. So I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, I was telling my daughter, I was like, oh, let's go over there. I forgot to look at something. So I go, right? And I feel like he notices that I know that he's doing something, but I think he's not sure either. So anyways, so I go back and I go to the kids aisle. y me hago pendeja. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot something. So me regreso para atrás.
Yeah.
Can you believe when I was going back to the men aisle, this man was already in the kid area? He was already in the kid area.
What the
So
fuck?
when he saw me go back, he went all the way across from to the store. And I took that moment where I made a U-turn and I was like, let me go look for my mom. Because my mom had my son.
Okay.
So I go and I told my mom. And de repente I'm like, ma, ese señor, aquel señor, because you could still see him. Like, 'cause, you know, everything's so short.
Yeah.
Marshalls.
Oh, yeah, everything's so short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Que no están las racks so
are like
high,
too high.
so you can see everything. So I'm like, ese señor me está siguiendo. And le expliqué, mira, me fui para allá y me está siguiendo. And my mom started getting nervous too.
Yeah.
And my mom like gripped Yariel's hand and I was like, let's go pay. Girl, we get in line. We're in line. Y ya estamos al frente. Can you believe this man gets in line too? And he has nothing in his hand.
But he's in line.
So why
But
is
he's
he
in line. And he's already on the phone. So when I
Oh
saw
my
that,
God.
I was like,
Oh my
I was
God.
shaking. And I have a taser gun. I carry a taser gun
Oh,
with
wow.
me.
Okay.
Yes, girl. And I got it. So I was like, Amma, ya está en la línea. And my mom was like, my mom started freaking out. My mom was like, dile a la cajera. I was like, no. I'm like, pero qué tal si yo soy? Like, what if I'm just seeing things? He said, no. So I was like, vamos a pagar. Tú agárrale las manos a los niños, vamos a pagar y los vamos a quedar ahí al frente, vamos a hacernos mensas aquí al frente. So we're paying and at the same time we're paying y yo ni estoy poniendo atención en la cajera ni nada. I'm just like aventando las cosas. I'm throwing things in there and I'm keeping an eye on the men. Well, I see an interaction. A younger guy walks in the store. They say something. The younger guy stays online. He walks out. The bald guy walks out.
What the fuck?
So I was like, okay, Amma. Something's up. So we stayed up front. And I was like, I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, okay, allá va. So I was like, I looked back and the young guy was still online.
Yeah.
So when I seen the young guy, so yo apunté and I was like, ese está con aquel. So I pointed.
You made sure.
So he knew that I knew.
Yeah.
So when I did that, this man, like the younger guy, he gets nervous, and I'm like, okay, so they know
you can
something.
tell.
So it was raining, so I was like, all right, mom. So we're agarra bien los niños, and I took out my taser gun and I took out my keys on hand. So I was like, okay, vamos a subirnos, los vamos a subir en chinguiza. So by far yo le laqué. We were still in the store. I unlocked it and we ran to the car. We locked the car keys and I turned that thing and I have never left. Can you believe they were driving a big ass Ben?
No.
A big ass white van.
That's already like.
And I knew because when I was already pulling out, because yo ya me estaba arrancando, and I see this man, and then he stopped in the front of the store, picked up the younger guy, and they left. Yeah.
Wow.
That is so
me and my mom
creepy.
were scared. We were like sweating, and I was like, girl, this is the day where me and my kids are gonna get. Oh, girl.
Oh, no.
Porque I don't know if you know, like, they're casi the human trafficking, it happens more to kids, children. It's like 20% higher worldwide. So, I mean, obviously, porque los niños nunca dicen nada.
Yeah. And they're small too, so.
Yeah. Pero entonces nos miran a las mujeres and they think the women are not going to do anything or they're not aware.
Or están solas.
But in broad daylight too.
Yeah.
That's what's scary.
Yeah.
That's what's scary.
That's something that we need to be aware of porque ahora it's daylight, nighttime. They don't
Any
care.
time of time.
As long as they know que estás descuidada, que te miras toda depressed, o también they look at you. They study you. They study you.
Toda
Si miran-
fodonga, no,
sí,
Esa sí me la llevo. Esa no la van a extrañar. Se ve toda triste.
Hell yeah, because they study you before that.
Oh yeah, and it's
you
so
know,
creepy how they are like that. How they look at all that. How we don't look at our surroundings or look at things like that. Because I'm like that too. I shop. I don't look around.
Yeah,
Recently, like when I would say recently after all those club shootings happened, when I would go downtown, that's when I started looking at my surroundings more, but only the clubs for people that look weird, like if they were gonna do something. That's when I started looking at my surroundings, and it'd be weird. So Giselle, do you have any similar stories like that, or has anything happened to you?
Well, I did get kidnapped when I was in elementary school.
Yes, I remember. Yes. Oh my God. And I never asked you when we were kids, ¿qué pasó? Because you know, that's just something you don't ask. Yeah, but what happened? Tell us your story.
I remember I was waiting for my mom to pick me up in the car. Why are you laughing? This is my PTSD.
And Jessie over there laughing her ass off.
Acuérdense que son mis nervios.
Yeah. Okay, so I was waiting for my mom to come pick me up in the carpool line. And at the time, I had a friend, and I was talking to her. And
but you were in the car pickup line?
I was a car rider. I don't know.
You were not a car rider. You were a bus rider.
But this is
so at the time,
elementary.
Yeah. So at the time, I remember telling my teacher that I was not a car rider.
Yeah. That's right.
I told her I was not a car rider. Y como quiera me pusieron en la línea ese día. Like they told me to go. I was destined to go in the car line that day.
She was destined for PTSD.
So then as I'm talking to my friend, they told me, oh, your mom's here, right? At the time, they didn't check name tags like on the cars or anything like that. I feel like we did not have
Pero también we were in the ghetto.
Awareness. Yeah, we were also in the ghetto,
True.
They did not care. They said, yo, mama here, get in the car. I'm trying to clock out work. They did not care.
No, literally.
So I got into the car and it was this lady I did not know. And I was like, where's my mom?
So the teacher put you in a car. That was
teacher
not
put me in. Yeah,
but she didn't confirm. Hey, is this your mom?
Or no, she didn't confirm. They tossed me in the line.
Pero la señora había dicho. Oh, we later. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll give you the other side.
So I get in the car, and then from there on, I'm asking her like where my mom is and stuff, and everything from that point on is like a blur to me.
Oh wow.
I only remember getting off the car and seeing like the K9 units outside our house, seeing the cops outside the house. I blacked out that entire time. I don't remember anything.
So after you were asking for your mom and she wasn't responding to you, you blacked out.
Yeah. Okay, and I do remember now that I like recall a little, I remember waking up like in a room. The door was locked.
Oh shit.
And I would like bang on the door like, háblame, like, you know, ¿dónde está mi mamá? And I remember the lady saying, que ahorita venía, que my mom was coming.
Did you tell the cops that?
I don't remember talking to the cops.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that is.
So I remember knocking.
Like she went to jail. Like if you would have spoken up, but then again, you were a child.
Yeah, the door was locked, and I kept asking her where my mom was, and she was saying that my mom was on the way.
Yeah. Wow.
But you know that si te la quedan la puerta there, that's bad intentions already.
And you were gone for a while.
But entonces, did they knock you out? Or did you just block it? Like mentally you blocked it?
I don't know if I mentally blocked it.
Probably.
I don't know how to unblock it.
Entonces dicen que when you mentally block is because you went to a traumatic episode. So something really bad must have happened for you to have blocked it out.
Or se asustó tanto that she blacked out. As soon as she noticed or she realized that she was kidnapped, that she blacked out. Like, you know, despierta, pero she blacked out.
Yeah, and I just remember getting dropped off back at the house and seeing everyone outside.
You off.
And let me tell you, this was hours. This was not 30 minutes.
This was at the nighttime. I remember it was nighttime.
Already dark. And then from our side is like, we were heading to the school bus. We were in the school bus. No, we were inside the school bus already. And I noticed, I was like, Giselle's not here. And I don't know if it was me or my other sister. We were like, we told the bus driver, like, my sister's not here. Or no, fíjate que no, it didn't happen like that. We were in the homeroom because they would put you in a homeroom before getting in the bus. Yeah. And I told the teacher, my sister's not here. Yeah. She's like, what do you mean? Your sister's right there. But that was my other sister. No, my little sister. Yeah. And I had told her I told her grade at that time. It was pre-K, right?
I think it was kindergarten.
Yeah, I think it was
kindergarten.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, and then she started calling. Y nada. So from there, they took us to the principal's office. And they were like, oh, maybe your mom picked her up. And I was like, no.
She would have picked all of us up.
Yeah. I was like, no, my mom works. That's why we're going on the school bus. And then at that time, you know, they kept us there. And all of a sudden, I see my mom get there. And my mom's crying. And my mom, like, she's freaking out. Then they separated us. Nos separaron. A mí me separaron. Entró un detective. Oh, and then right away, the cops were called. Yeah. Right away. And un detective went in and started asking me random questions. Like, so what do you think happened to your sister? I was like, I don't know. And then at that time, I remember I was drawing. He's like, what are you drawing?
Why were you drawing?
Because I was like, I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, I don't know. Yo creo que con los nervios, cuando uno está chiquito, estás nervioso. And I just remember drawing some random
That
stuff.
sounds like a scene out of a movie.
For real.
Like the text is like, what do you think
For
happened to your sister? And you're like
real.
sketching over here.
I'm seeing the
Making
future.
a Sonic.
Yeah, for real. And then it was so random. And then it came to a point where ya estaba bien tarde. Nobody figured out what happened. So we went home.
Yeah.
And I remember, oh my God, it gives me chills. It came to a point where they told my mom, okay, we have to sniff her. When it gets to sniffing, you know it gets bad.
Yeah.
Entonces le dijeron a mi mamá that we had to go home because they wanted a dog to go in and sniff Giselle's
clothes.
Get her scent to pick up where she went.
Okay.
So I remember, sorry.
Aww.
Yeah, because when you hear your mom, it's like, remember when Joanna fell, like you heard your mom. Eso like,
I remember it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
I remember your grandma and your mom crying really, really bad.
Yeah, because it was a frustration of like, where's my child? And I remember my mom crying like that, right? So, you know, like they're sniffing her items, que su peine, because Giselle had her own little brush because of her curls.
Yeah.
She had a lot of curls. She still does.
Yeah.
So her peine, like, because that was only her brush. So they had the dog and they started sniffing. And I think that's how they figured out where Giselle went. And then I don't know, fíjate que no, that's not how. Because then there was a lot of commotion going on, cops in her house.
Yeah.
So a lot of neighbors started like coming out, talking, a lot of cars coming by, you know. And I think that's when the lady that took her found out, like, hey,
that they're looking for her.
No se quedaron con la boca callada.
Yeah.
Porque tú sabes que aquí, like, especially si uno es hispano, they think como en ese tiempo, you know, todavía no estamos en el proceso de immigration, pero no estábamos arregladas. So a lot of people believe, and there's a lot of cases out there that no reportan por miedo, right?
Porque no tienen papeles and they're scared.
They're scared. But little did the lady knew that we were not scared because we were already in immigration process. Like, we were good. At the moment, we were good. So my mom wasn't scared to report it. Yeah. So that's why my mom spoke up. So, so I guess the lady knew. And, you know, can you believe that lady had the guts to show up at the house with Giselle? Talking about, like, she gave some random ass excuse de que porque se la había llevado. And so esta señora, supuestamente, like, you know, she's like, those are the type of people that you don't want to mess with porque te hacen la vida de pedacitos. Yeah. Right? So they told my mom if she wanted to press charges, and my mom at that moment, she didn't care anymore because all she wanted was just
to get your sister back.
Yeah, my sister back, Giselle. Which, you know, we did, like, you know, and my mom didn't press charges. But even after that, like, I remember like being scared, like, Giselle. And then the thing was, I was already a 5th grader. That was my last year as a 5th grader. So the responsibility fell on my other sister to watch her, because, you know, we didn't want this to happen again. And even after that, like, the whole school knew what had happened, and they started changing things. And I think they started focusing more on, like, que no pasara de nuevo.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. I was gonna say, wasn't it the school's fault? Like the teacher's fault.
The teacher's fault. Yeah. And to tell you the truth, I haven't even spoken to my mom about it because I want to know what happened to that teacher, because that was a neglect.
Yeah.
Negligence on the school part. Because why are you gonna, I mean, do something about it? Have regulations like to follow or rules to follow. Like,
sued the whole damn school.
I remember I was already nervous because I kept telling them that I wasn't a car rider, and I was already shaking, like, walking, because I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, my mom's gonna pick me up, you know, like.
And you're thinking que no se me pase el pinche bus, because how am I gonna get home?
And then you probably did think that your mom was gonna pick you up because you were a little girl. What do you expect?
Yeah, but every day I was already riding the bus. Every day I was already riding the bus.
That is scary as shit.
And that's the thing, like, mucha la comunidad de hispanos no reportan lo que pasa cuando abusan de una niña. O que se la roban. A veces no lo reportan por miedo del estatus inmigratorio. Pero hay leyes, porque yo a eso investigué, because I was like, qué feo, ¿verdad? Que muchos no saben que hay leyes que los protegen, aunque no estén documentados. So if you are a victim of sex trafficking, human trafficking, and say you're able to get out, or you know someone then you can go ahead and report it. And if that person is undocumented, there's a law that protects them temporarily.
Oh, wow.
And depending on the severity of the case, o depending en qué tan severo el caso fue de esa persona undocumented, le dan temporary status temporario en los Estados Unidos.
Oh, wow.
Dependiendo del caso, les meten papeles gratis.
Oh, wow.
Para que arreglen y se queden permanente.
Yeah, and then
in the meantime, they're going to court to fight, even like they investigate the case, you know. So there is a lot of help. Les dan shelter, que les dan casa, les dan todo para que sobrevivan ellos mientras están in the process. So, you know, like, I hope, like, I think this is a good platform to put it out there para ayudar a la comunidad, porque a veces uno se queda callado. Por miedo.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't. Porque hay ayuda. Nomás es de que uno los oriente. But
that is true. And I'm pretty sure there's been, excuse me, I'm pretty sure there's been help out there for a while. And people don't know. I feel like now, yes, I feel like now people do speak up a little bit more. But back then, like 2010 or 11, I feel like there probably was resources of that, but now it's more. Pero antes, you know, I feel like, como dices tú, mucha gente tenía miedo, señoras tenían miedo de reportar when they would, you know, be beaten up on and stuff like that. And
that's so true.
Sometimes they would even die because they never told anybody, and they would hurt them so bad. And
you know that it's called National Human Trafficking Hotline. Because you can, it's a hotline that you call if you're being trafficked or you know somebody, you thinking that maybe you're suspicious of them being human trafficked. They did a survey, and they said that 77% of the human trafficking has como que son Latinoamericanos, Caribbeans. Oh, wow. Yeah, they're the highest target. They're the highest target. Pero why? Think about it. Why? Porque uno está and even from your own country. Yeah. You know, they do human trafficking straight from your country, take you anywhere, anywhere, right?
To any other country.
And so in Latin America, you know, like there's like a lot of poverty. Se llevan a los niños. Yeah. You know,
or young girls that obviously they're looking for a better life. You know, they're looking for a job.
Yeah. Because even there's labor human trafficking.
Yes, I was just going to speak about that too. I've seen, it's not a documentary. It was a novela regards to that. And these guys would go to a club, and it was like 4 of them. And they were nice looking, and they would buy VIP and invite girls, and they would get them drunk, like super, super drunk. Like, yo invito bottles. They would be showing off, a lot of money. They had jewelry on. You know, obviously they looked like not good, but they looked like handsome, rich guys. And you know, las girls de voladas, ahí, like, cantando el alcohol and all that.
And están pendejitas, porque they're in the young age.
She looked at me when she said that.
And I'm looking at her. Pendejitas.
Yeah, and at the end of the night, se las llevaban. Y ya cuando se levantaban, they were in a freaking house full of other girls and guys, and se las llevaban a trabajar.
Porque you know,
they would send them to Venezuela, Colombia, to like the prettiest ones. Se las llevaban to prostitute them and like go to strip clubs and stuff like that. Las feitas las llevaban to do labor work and stuff like that. So las ponían, like, las mandaban a hoteles to clean, and like they would pick them up, they would drop them off, they would take them lunch. Literally, they would take them lunch. And it was like, los explotaban. And then there would be a point where they would gather like 4 or 5 of them y las cruzaban a los Estados Unidos. Once las cruzaban, las metían en una casa, y igual aquí en los Estados Unidos las llevaban to either work, or they would take them to strip clubs here in the United States to prostitute them.
Wow.
And every club, there would be 1 or 2 guys watching one girl. She couldn't go to the bathroom by herself. Like, every time she needed to go to the bathroom, she had to tell one of the guys, and the guys would stand outside of the bathroom until she came out.
Y like, it was very serious. Like that, and that's scary, porque allí, ¿en qué momento puedes pedir ayuda?
Exactly. And she always tried to find
borrachos. Imagínate, todos borrachos.
No one's in their senses.
Yeah. And she tried to always look for a way to leave or to way to say something. One time she even wrote something which she stole an eyeliner from the dressing room, and she wrote a note like ayúdenme, like en una napkin de las manos, y lo dejó allí en el counter. She looked back to see if anybody would look at it, and the girls pues estaban pedas.
Sí, no
they just like washed their hands and wet the whole paper.
Wow.
Y no lo miraron, and she just like looked back. Like the scene was so sad. She just looked back and just like, oh, I gotta try tomorrow. Yeah, it was so sad though. Like,
pero this is something crazy. That we like. It's good to talk about. Como ahorita de eso del club, because then when you're out, be on the lookout. Be on the lookout, not for you and for others.
Exactly.
Yes.
I recently went on a cruise.
Oh.
And I had an incident happen where there was a guy that I had met, like, well, it was just me. It was a coworker and I that were on a cruise.
Okay.
And, you know, he was talking a little bit more to her, and I could tell where his intentions were going with it. And he had said something like, oh, I left my phone upstairs, like in his room. Like, would you guys like come with me? And I was like, but obviously I wasn't going to let my coworker go by herself, because cruises are like the number one place for kidnappings to happen, for murders to happen. Anything that happens on waters outside of the US, like, you're screwed. No one can fight with you. Like, you know? So I ended up like following her, and he went inside his room, and he came out with a friend. And that already seemed weird to me. Unexpectedly came out with like a bottle of champagne that was already open.
Oh no.
And was asking
if you wanted some.
Of course I didn't take any, but she did. And I could tell, like, I don't know, if maybe something was in the bottle, because she got like a little bit more fucked up.
Oh shit.
And so I could tell where their intentions were going. I kept telling her, like, we need to go. We have to work. We were like working on the cruise, like, but I was like, we have to go. We have to get up early tomorrow and work with these kids. Like, we can't be out. And obviously se molestó, because she called me like a party pooper, like, you know, like, oh, you just want to ruin like us having a good time. But I'm like, dude, you drank out of a bottle that's already open.
And you don't know.
He came out with another guy. We're in the middle of the fucking ocean. Like, anything can happen. Anything could happen.
And then you were on a job too, so you had to present yourself tomorrow, the next day. So,
but that's scary.
You should ahí la hubieras dejado la chingada.
Eso es lo que le dije.
And she got like beef with me after, but I'm like, girl, I was like looking out for you. Like,
afterwards, you should have been like, girl, I should have left your ass on that motherfucking shit.
On that shit
for them to rape you in the ass.
Oh my God.
Así de exagerada.
Pues no.
Qué mala.
Sí, malagradecida, pero esas son las personas.
Damn, we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't.
Honestly.
Jeez.
You know that we did a poll on episode poll on our Spotify.
Okay.
Can you believe 20% of our listeners said that they never care to notice what's around them when they're out in public. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's a low number, but it gets you thinking, like,
but average that out to like everyone.
I'm pretty sure it's pretty high.
Yeah, it's high.
Y ya ves que ahora estamos like bien pegadas like to our cell phones.
Sabes que también estaba leyendo that men, when they're like in the construction and all of that, they also get kidnapped, or ¿cómo se dice? Men, hombres.
They get kidnapped as well.
Yes, because a veces trabajan in outside areas, casi tipo abandonado. They just go by, pick them up. They look at anyone can get human trafficked.
Oh yeah,
because they can use you for labor, or they can
black market.
Yeah. So they go around construction areas, and that's when they kidnap too. So even los hombres tienen que tener cuidado.
Yeah.
Y a veces I guess their ego, they're like, no, it's not gonna happen to me, but yes, it can.
And I'm not gonna lie, it has happened to my family. I don't know if you guys heard, but one of my cousins got kidnapped. I would say last month. Like in July. I have the date here, but yeah, like in July, he got kidnapped, and he's a grown man. They've not found him in Mexico. Ahí en San Luis.
From where we're from.
From where we're from. And he was a married man. He's not young. He's probably like, well, he is young. He's 34 years old, but he's
young.
he had his wife, his 2 kids.
¿Lo encontraron?
And they've not found him. They haven't found him. And this is the crazy part.
Did you not just hear her say they
No,
have not?
I didn't.
No, they have not found him. Him and his wife went to a grocery store. He stayed in a truck with his kid, and she went inside the store and grabbed a couple things. And
Que
she says
que es lo normal que uno hace.
yeah, and she just says that the people from the inside of the store were like, "Hey, they're taking your husband." She's like,
What?
"Taking my husband?" She went and looked, and when she said she was looking, that they were just pointing a gun at him, and they lo encapucharon. They put something over his head and took him. And she was like, they left him in the truck. And she was like, "Oh my God, thank God they didn't take." She ran after the kid, but they were pointing guns at her and to back off, and they took him. And it's been like almost it's been like almost 4 weeks that he's been missing.
And she didn't recognize a person's voice or something, like someone that he may have known.
She didn't recognize him. She didn't recognize the truck.
¿Y qué le dicen? ¿Qué le están diciendo? Like
nothing. They've not called her. They've not said anything. They've not sent no recados, nothing. So we honestly don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. I don't, I haven't been to Mexico.
You don't want to,
Yeah, and I haven't been to Mexico in a while to see what was my cousin up to, because I'm not saying que se lo llevaron porque he was in that type of stuff. I doubt it, but uno nunca sabe.
You can't put something past
someone. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know they did take him, and
that's so sad.
and it is so sad, and I really hope he comes back good.
Yeah.
Pero things, how things are in Mexico, we just it's really hard to say, but it's been so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
you're
it's like,
starting
what do
to
you
lose
do
hope,
with
kinda.
I start thinking like, what do you do with somebody you kidnap? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like it's just really hard for me to understand.
You feel hopeless.
Yeah. Hopeless.
Like,
Yeah, that's the
what
word.
the hell?
Sí, porque and that's what I think too. Cuando yo me pongo a pensar, like, what if I'm at the store and they take my kids, or they're trying to take us? Like, cómo reaccionar? ¿A quién agarrar para salvar? Like, la desesperación, like, what do you do? And a lot of people, mucha gente no se mete porque también tienen miedo.
Yeah.
Tienen miedo que les vayan a hacer
something
algo.
will be happening. And most of the time they're probably armed. They have guns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that's very sad. And now they're saying, well, my aunties from Mexico are saying that now in our town, our town,
in our town,
that now they're taking more people.
Yeah.
There's been
getting
more
worse. It's getting worse. That's what my mom
abductions.
told me.
Así se dice,
Yeah,
¿verdad?
abductions.
Yeah.
They're taking more people, and it's just
Y eso que es
random.
bien
'Cause
raro
it's random,
porque-
guys and girls.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell?
Because I remember my mom used to tell me, like, oh, no, tu abuelita dice que nomás en las áreas, en las orillas, allí no, nada. But now it's
happening
in
towns.
to our towns. Yeah, so it's getting worse. And I think this is the perfect time to raise awareness,
Definitely.
Because it happens here, it happens everywhere. And it happens even if you're poor, rich, it doesn't matter. They don't look at that. They just look at a body. If that's a perfect body for them, they're going to take it.
Yeah.
Either for labor, for sex trafficking, whatever they want to do with
Kids too, they take kids, and
they take kids, especially.
And I've seen that people use other kids to kidnap kids.
Eso es lo que le estaba diciendo.
Yes, they
Eso
do
le estaba
that.
diciendo a Melanie, like my daughter.
So you have to also kind of tell your kids, which is so sad because they're little, and
They probably
obviously-
think they're making a friend or something.
Yes and no. I've seen, because I did research, videos and stuff like that. And I did see a video of a lady that was recording, era una grandma. She was recording her grandkids. And viene otro little boy, and he's just a little taller than her grandkids, 2 boys. And the little boy's like, oh, come play with me over here. Come play with me over here. He kept trying to grab them, like literally grab them.
Wow.
Like, can you come play with me over here? So the kid was grabbing his arm, trying to take him towards his side. And the grandma was like, hey, stay on this side. Stay on this side. And luego ella recording, she's like, I know you guys just seen that. I know you just seen that little boy come out of nowhere. And we've been playing on this park for a while. And for him to come out of nowhere and just tell my kids, hey, come play over here, and try to grab them, like, oh no. And then after that, she stopped, and ya no había nada. But I was like, what the heck? another little boy. Like, ¿será que ese little boy también se lo robaron? Or is he like...
They're trained. They're probably trained to get other kids.
I don't know. I had seen this documentary a while back. Era in the Bronx. Because, you know, the Bronx is very, you know, is low resources. Y era en un parque que ya se veían, they would kidnap, there was a lot of kidnapping with young little, you know, African Americans, you know, dark skin. And it turns out like they were kidnapping the little kids and out of nowhere, they didn't know how it would happen. What? Like the parents were there and all of a sudden, de tanto que miraban tanto kid, and all of a sudden the kids were gone.
Yeah.
And it turns out, I think it was another little kid going in there. They were using a kid to kidnap a kid.
That was crazy.
And it was a documentary about that. Que en ese mismo parque.
En ese mismo parque. Later
I think I found a documentary also. I don't remember the name of it, but it was also in the Bronx, I think. But this was like in the 60s or 70s that it happened. Was it that same one?
Yeah, I think it's the same one because it wasn't back in the days, como 70s, 80s, por ahí.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's so sad. And that's the least that you think. Like, uno piensa que, oh, it's adults. O es un hombre adulto que te va a robar. No, también son mujeres viejitas, niños. So it's like, we all have to be aware. So, you know, like, I hope everyone is paying attention and focusing.
Yeah, definitely.
To their surroundings.
Even with women, too.
Yeah. So
a little too friendly.
For real. I mean, it's not human traffic awareness month, but we're just making it aware either way, you know. And you know, it's crazy because there's a lot that we can do. You know, Instagram, you can hashtag, you know, hashtag freedom first and ¿cómo se dice? End trafficking, so that people can be focused on that, like try to help, you know, the people, like our people,
for sure.
You know. And then Joanna, she had sent me a few of her stuff where she said things that we can do to help, como dice, to help you stay aware of what you could do if you're in the moment of getting como kidnapped.
Okay.
Because sometimes, especially, yo eso lo que he escuchado, but it can happen anywhere. Like, especially in New York, you know, que they take your stuff or they hold you at gunpoint. Quieren tu bolsa. Give me everything you got, right? So, and one of them said, like, si alguien está pidiendo que te dé, pidiendo tu bolsa or whatever you have in your hand, tíralo far. So, si te dicen, dame tu bolsa, no le dé la bolsa, no se la des a él, sino que avienta la bolsa lo más lejos que tú puedas. Y then, cuando ya la aventaste, entonces tú aprovecha ese tiempo de correr. Pues no es como salvar tus items, piensa en ti, en tu vida. So that's to save your life. Don't be thinking like, oh, my purse, my phone, my key. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's replaceable, not yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the things that...
Okay, that's
which is
a good tip there.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
If you're at gunpoint or not, if they want your purse, go get it. And you run. Take that moment and run. So moms, you know, anything, you know. Anybody carrying a bag and they want whatever you have in the bag, throw it.
Yeah.
And they'll focus on that bag instead of you. Yeah.
Focus on my fake Louis Vuitton bag.
Like, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard to get a deal with the lady, man.
You're like, no, please.
There'll be more at the pulga. It's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then she also sent another one que dice que if you're thrown in a trunk, the trunk of a car, kick out the backlights. Kick them out. So if you're inside the trunk, you know.
Can you see the backlights?
Yes, están en las orillas del carro.
Once it closes, you can.
You can. So si estás, we can test it out in my car.
Okay.
But just don't kick them.
All right.
Anyway, so si te echaron en how do you say trunk in Spanish?
La cajuela.
Sí, si te echan en la cajuela. So lo que tú vas a hacer, vas a patalear lo más fuerte o vas a pegarle lo más fuerte que tú puedas en donde están las luces por adentro. So tú vas a patear lo más fuerte que tú puedas hasta que se salga. So si están manejando, la persona que está atrás or whoever, they're gonna see that. They're gonna see that because they are gonna come out. So they're gonna see like, okay, what's going on there?
Yeah.
You know? So try to like, you know, like kick them out, and then obviously somebody's gonna see you once they're falling off. Like, try to stick out a finger or something, and they're gonna know.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get stopped. Also, también dicen que las mujeres tienen la tendencia de estar en el carro and be checking your phones or like thinking like, oh, what else do I need?
Oh, heck no. I always lock the doors when I get straight into my car.
you lock the doors. Yeah, but ponle que te subes, pero si estás en el carro que ya te vas a bajar, you don't have the car unlocked.
Oh, you're right.
Y a veces tú, okay, we just got here. Y yo tengo esa maña que I'm like, okay, what do I need? Y ahí estoy
in the car.
Y las puertas están deslaqueadas. So en ese momento también pueden entrar. So always maintain your doors locked until you're sure either you're going to get off or you're just getting in. So get in, lock, and do whatever you have to do in your car.
Yeah.
So that's one of them too.
I'm like, dang.
Yeah. And
now when I go out, I'm going to be all locked.
Yeah. So
I always have the tendency, even if I left my car doors locked the night before, I get in and I look in the back seat.
Oh, yeah.
Not that will help because
porque si no, como
but I always look back because I'm like, who's in here?
You like look back.
Spirits.
Oh my God.
But yeah, entonces dice también, like if you're parked next to a big van, also be aware because usually they carry a big van.
Or avoid parking near big vans.
Yeah. So it says that never get through the driver's side. Even if you're the driver, go through the passenger side. If you're parked next to
a van.
So don't get in that side, sino te subes por el passenger
otro
side,
lado.
lock the doors, jump in where you have to, pull out.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. So that's just one tip, También, if it's nighttime, and, like they have elevators, muchos people, they take stairs to exercise.
Yeah.
But if it's nighttime, be careful. Porque in the stairs, you can go in the stairs and whoever's in there keeping an eye out for somebody, they just grab you and they take you in a room and then or take you out and whatever. Sure. So always take the elevator because elevators got cameras. Well, the majority of them have cameras. So always take the elevator. Oh, and if you're running from a gun, run in a zigzag pattern.
Just like when you're running away from an alligator.
Exactly.
Zigzag pattern.
The zigzag.
I'm not going to do the
you know what? It would be my luck. I would get shot anyways if I ran in the zigzag.
It would.
Oh my God.
No, and it's crazy because when you're in panic mode, you're not thinking, oh, zigzag. You're thinking just straight. But really, like, we need to put this into practice. If you're zigzagging, like, it's going to be harder for them to shoot you.
Yeah.
Less possibility. Obviously, they can still, but it's less possibility.
And I think now we have to, Yessie, you did say you had a taser.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where did you get your taser from?
You can get them anywhere.
You don't have to have like a license or anything?
I think you can even get them at the Pulga.
Yeah, you can get them at the Pulga.
Yes,
I got mine at the Pulga, girl.
They look like...
I haven't tested it out because I don't want to...
Test it out on me.
Girl.
Oh my God.
Her with her heart problem. Like, muerta tiesa.
I would die.
Yeah, and I used to have a pepper spray. But when I went to City Walk, they made me throw it away. Well, they told me you want to put it in your car or you want to throw it away.
City Walk, you're not going to go all the way back to your car.
It was a long ass walk.
You get kidnapped on the way back.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagínate.
No, and you're like... I always carry my taser gun. Always. So we went to downtown. We were doing some court stuff, right?
Yeah.
Can you believe that a cop came out because I had a taser gun?
He came out of where?
He came out, like, you know how they check you go through the thing and everything.
Yeah.
So, I went through it. I forgot that I had it in my bag, obviously, because I always carry it. So then all of a sudden a cop gets called and I'm like, okay, weird. Yeah. And I'm still not remembering that I got my taser gun with me. And they're like, oh, so there's something in your bag. Can you open it up? And I'm like, sure. I'm like, oh. They're like, either you can hand it over. And I was like, hell no. I was like, no, I'll stay outside. Well, I'll stay outside. And then the cop came out.
Yeah.
Because I had a fucking taser gun. I'm like, I wonder if you guys do this, if it's just a regular fucking gun. I'm pretty sure y'all don't do this shit. But because I was outside with a taser gun, he came out. And I'm like, I'm like, is it because I'm a colored person that you're
like, ¿qué pasó?
¿Qué chingados yo voy a hacer con un pinche? Well, I can do a lot with a taser gun, but isn't that a life and death threat?
Yeah, you'll just be tased, son. Yeah, that's it.
And I remember the guy's like, well, you can take it to the car and you can come in. I was like, no, it's okay, I'll wait here. And he was just roaming there.
Yeah.
Y al último se metió. But I'm like, do you think I'm gonna run in there and tase everybody? Like, what you thinking? Like, you know,
you're like, hold on, I can only tase one person. That I have to, you know, take this piece off and then add another one. So it takes me a few minutes. Okay, relax.
Exactly. So you know, it's just dumb. But yeah, like you can use taser guns.
Yeah, and you know what I've also seen? It's like a little. It looks like a little keychain kitty cat. They do cats or little dogs or bunnies que tienen como un piquito. Son como 3 o 2 piquitos that you put either around your 2 ring fingers, or you can do like a breast.
They're called knuckles.
I don't know, but I've seen those at the flea market, and they have like picos. So if once you're grabbing your car keys and you feel like your life is being in danger, you grab it and you can poke people with that or stuff like that. Pepper spray I've seen también, and then
and
the tasers.
Mine has a light, so like if it's in the dark, I can turn on and I can use it like a light. But I had gone another one where it was a taser gun, pero tenía el pico, so like either I could stab you with it or I can tase your ass.
Shit.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, and it was like easy, like it would fit nicely in your hand. Like you could just close your hand and it would stay there nicely, so nobody would see it. But yeah, I always carry it. Like even if I go to check my mailbox, like I'd be like, "Where's my taser gun?"
Yeah,
you know,
because you never know.
You never know.
Yeah,
especially with what happened to me. I'm like, I'm taking this.
That's scary.
So there are también hotlines that you can call, like if you suspect of human trafficking.
Yeah.
It's so it's the National Human Traffic Resource Center, and it's the 1-888-373-7888. So you can actually like call them
88 or AA.
Es que soy mexicana, déjame en paz. So it's 1-888-373-7888.
Okay.
So you can call that number if you suspect of someone, or if you are suspecting of it. Like I said, it could be sex trafficking, labor trafficking. You can call them. They can help you. And also like you can do if you want resources, because I was reading, you can get trained to notice if there's something going on.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Yeah.
Like what would be that number one thing besides like
that you should be aware of, right?
Yeah, what would be that number one thing? Because sometimes they have people secuestran a la gente. They take people and sometimes they have them out here. Like they take them to stores, like grocery stores, and like just grab what you're gonna get, like, and they're there. Like how can you know when somebody is being like
human
that?
Trafficking.
What are the first signs? Like,
so
can you tell by color? Like if they look too pale, like they haven't been out exposed to the sun.
No, some of them they're very slick about it. So ellos te visten normal.
Yeah.
So la única manera que puedes sospechar is if you're making conversation with them.
Oh,
true.
If they're quiet, they're looking down, they're not making eye contact. There's something wrong there.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you want to like get trained, like we should all get trained. We should all be aware, because they can, like I said, a kid can be like human trafficked. So we have to be aware of this.
Yeah.
So FloridaHealth.gov has resources where you can take classes, and they show you what to read.
Someone if
have to read.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's good to check that website out and, just be aware and learn something from it, It's always good to know more than to know less or nothing.
Yeah, that's true. We need
to save a life.
And that's another thing. True. We need to actually, like, how do you say, look for stuff to help us. Like, no sabemos our... Yeah, we don't actually search certain things. We just work home, take care of our kids, take care of our family, but we don't, see what else is out there to help us.
We don't inform ourselves.
Sí. Yeah. Somos como bien decidiosos. Queremos que la gente haga ¿cómo dice? Que haga la diferencia. Like somebody else, like, they'll do it for us. Like we're like como muy...
So dependent on society or other people.
So, like, you get me? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but don't come at me. But, I feel like como I don't want to miss work. Or, I don't want to, like, if something happens, you're like, we got to go. You're not, how are you helping your community? You're not. And I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I could have done something about it.
Yeah.
So, just be aware, because it's not only you, it's others too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. You could always make or change someone's life, by reporting whatever it is or.
Yeah. Yep.
That's insane.
So what are you guys going to do differently now with all this info? ¿Qué van a hacer diferente?
Probably look up ways to identify someone.
Sí,
that's
¿verdad?
like
Oh,
being
yeah.
kidnapped.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, check the website
Or
out.
how to identify someone that's a
Yeah,
kidnapper.
because you know, like even
human trafficker.
así como ustedes estaban diciendo the online dating, they can be one of them. That they're
True.
trying to- So be careful out there all the time. Every decision you make, question it. We're
is
at
so
that
true.
time where we have to question everything.
It's scary.
So y'all gonna
Kind
take,
of sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Ahora, wait, I'm gonna walk into Ross or Marshall's and be like, who the fuck he looks suspicious?
Who wanna take me and my
No,
baby?
como quiera, I don't let my kid, like, if she's like, okay, mom, let me go to, no, stay right here. You're not going nowhere without me. Yeah, I
Sí,
kind of
como
never
like you said earlier, cuando estás chiquito, mamá, podemos ir a ver los
Yeah.
juguetes, and they would tell you, yeah, go.
You go.
And I used to do that,
Yeah.
but no, I don't let Veda. Even when she was smaller, I would not let her go to the toys by herself.
Girl, my daughter, she's like 13, and I still go to the bathroom with her. She's like, Mom, I gotta go. I'm like, all right, wait for me, and I'm going.
Yeah, let's all go.
Always,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, oh, they're old enough to go. Yes, they're old enough, but they're old enough for other people to be on the lookout. Yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah,
Not my
no,
baby.
definitely now be looking my surroundings and, making sure no creepy weepies out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And teach your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Talk to
kids
them.
or your nephews, nieces, talk to them. Just let them know, hey, it's not okay if your mom doesn't know where you're at or your mom's not going with you, don't go at all. It doesn't matter if it's your friend or a little kid. No.
Or you know what I've also told my kid, like if somebody tells you, like, hey, your mom told me to take you here, or your mom told me if I don't tell you, you don't go nowhere, even if you know them.
Yeah.
That's what I've told her.
Yeah, because it's scary.
I'm not gonna lie, I watch a lot of documentaries, like even if it's about like about murders and stuff like that.
God, yeah.
I watch a lot of those documentaries and stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very into that, or reading books about it. A show that I used to not live without watching it at least once a day. The Spectre, ¿cómo se llama? Law and Order, Special Victims.
Yes,
Guys,
I love
could you
that.
not? That is my show. And I remember I told my mom once, I was like, I'm like, Mom, if somebody kidnaps me or tries to rape me, I know what I have to do. Like get some type of DNA under my nails, or leave a sign, even like pull my own hair, leave my hair somewhere.
Yeah.
Like any little thing that would help find me. Even if I die, por lo menos.
Do you think
find
it's
me.
necessary to have those things
Yeah.
ready?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Like a strand of your hair, like
Like if
Not
you know,
ready, but
I think if
I
you
think
know
within the moment.
Yeah, I think if you know that you're at that point where you're gonna get killed, girl, make sure they know who the fuck it is. So scratch, and they tell you. They tell you. Scratch all the time because it gets under your DNA.
Their DNA can get
Make
under.
sure that you leave a mark on them or on you of them. So
okay.
Yeah.
so always scratch.
That show, I'm not gonna lie, that show like really, I would be like, okay, ya sé qué voy a hacer, like F that, no, but but I'm very like with stuff like that, I'm very like, I like to watch it,
And
pero
always
también me
aim.
pongo cuidado, like,
And the thing
Crazy
is,
ass
when you're
people.
gonna scratch or whatever, always aim where it's not gonna be able to. Nobody like you. They can't hide it. It's like on the face, on the hand.
Yeah.
That's not.
because that's suspicious. That's one of the first things they kind of look, or they luego, because I've seen it on the show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure they actually do that in real life.
Yeah.
They actually like go under their
They do.
fingernails and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So they they look for people that were in jail or something, que tengan una recent mark, or if you have suspicious of somebody.
Yeah. So if you can yank a part of their beard or their hair, go ahead and
una
do it.
mordisca que le des, allá agarran
and a bite.
la blood.
Yeah, a bite
or
too.
something from their skin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Girl,
Maya.
yes.
Grab all these tips, write all these tips,
Write
or
it
go
down.
watch you some Law and Order.
For real. It'll help you.
But in every county there's a special victim unit.
Oh yeah.
Obviously there has to be, but yes, there is a special victim.
That's
like
cool.
there's a department for rape. Like if you've been ever raped, there's special detectives for
For those specific things.
that
There's-
they search for people that that are they're looking for rapists out there, which that's another thing too, that there's a lot of,
Orlando is
downtown Orlando, guys. Have you guys researched that? I've seen it.
I did.
In the middle of downtown Orlando, está downtown Orlando, y en las surroundings, all around, like a big circle around downtown Orlando, those homes around there, I would say about 50% of sex offenders or rapists.
What the fuck?
Oh, yes. Downtown is the number one spot, I would say, where they either, se llevan a la gente, rape people, and sex trafficking, or, trafficking. They take you, steal you, kidnap, same thing, But yes, if you look it up, downtown, it's scary. The first time I seen it, I was like, holy shit. I'm so glad I did not get robbed when I'd be out there drunk as hell. I mean, I would never go alone, but, I'd go with other females and we would all be drunk as shit.
Imagínate, te agarran con todo el group.
Imagínate, I know.
You and your homegirls get kidnapped.
For real.
Como en those memes, like, hey, como dicen que when you get kidnapped because they tell you they're going to give you Bad Bunny concert tickets.
You're like, oh, he's here tonight.
He is here tonight. Oh, my boss is going. Then he was over here
for like $1,000.
Yeah.
Shit.
The ones that he got, he was selling for $400. I said $400. That's my rent right there, boy. That is my rent.
Like, I said, that's my car payment, girl.
Let me stay on Spotify and listen to you.
Yeah. It's like I'll have my own little concert.
Did he come?
He came a while back.
March.
In March. Yeah, it was in March. I went to the one in March. I was really close to him.
Oh, wow. Entonces sí fuiste.
Yeah. I mean, con eso que ahora he's making out with people in his concerts.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
I see nothing wrong with it. A lot of people have been making it such a big thing.
She had a man.
Well, actually,
wait, who had a man?
The girl.
Wait, Bad Bunny's girl was making out with people?
No. Bad Bunny was making out with a random girl
in the concert.
At the concert.
And that girl has a boyfriend.
And the girl.
And the boyfriend got like pissed about it.
Yeah, but it was not like just a kiss.
It was like intense.
Oh, yeah. I think my partner would be upset because one time we went to a Mexican concert and one of the guys of the grupos, I was like, and then he my man back then, my ex, not my man no more. No, he's not my man no more. I'm just kidding. Now, let me fucking stop. Let me stop right quick before I slap myself with this mic. Anyways, he was super taller than I was. So he was like, I guess, saying something to him, and the guy noticed him. Entonces lo saludó a él, and I thought it was to me, and I'm over here blowing kisses to him. Yes, my ex got mad. I said, boy, I said, I know you're not mad because I was throwing kisses at this man. This man will never see me again in his life. And he was like, so that's so disrespectful. I'm right behind you.
Oh my God.
I was like,
but babe, we can become famous.
No, I told him, I was like, I told you that's my baby boo. What's wrong with you? Yes, but he was pretty pissed. He was like, he's over here saludándome a mí, tú acá aventando besos.
He turns around and Karina's over there.
Yeah, he's like, no, but he was pretty upset about it.
She's flashing the guy.
She was like blowing like his, de que all up in the lips and everything.
No, yeah. But damn, her man got mad. Yeah, I think my man I think your boyfriend probably
we talked about it yesterday and he was like, yeah, that's disrespectful.
I need to bring that topic up to mommy. He'd be like, what are you asking me? You thinking about that?
And I was like, no, and I was like, but I will never see him again. He's like, but still, like, that's like disrespectful.
Oh, you asked him?
Yeah.
If I was to kiss Bad Bunny like that, would you
let me tell you, yes. Me as a woman, if my man would have went to a concert and the artist, si la mujer or la artista went up and kissed him and he went again and let her do that, I would have been pissed too. I'm like, you know what? If you do that with her,
what makes you? You
can do it with anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me as a woman, but then again, un artista female artist wouldn't just come out and do that like that.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes these girls be out here crazy. I seen Sweetie, right? From yeah, I seen where she was at a concert and she's called out one of the fans. She was like, "Oh, you look cute." Sé que le está diciendo, "Oh, you got a girlfriend." And all this stuff.
They asked.
She did ask.
Uno de mujer, you check up on like, let me not make myself ridícula aquí. Ricky. You know, they check, but Bad Bunny didn't check or anything. He just went in for the
That's what my boyfriend said. He was like, pero ella tampoco no dijo like, oh, I have a boyfriend. Like, no, or,
like,
you know, something,
like,
you know.
No,
she said,
like,
fuck
here.
Like, at least the cheek kiss, you know.
Yo le fuera dije, lick my cheek.
People like, fuck no, voy a agarrar un pinche blackhead ahí, your oily ass shit. Oh Lord,
for real, dude. But yeah, I'm like, yeah. I haven't spoken about this to my significant other, but I should.
You should
bring it up.
See what he says.
Just to see what
is
his
that a
reaction
deal breaker?
Is. You should get his reaction and see what he says.
I should.
Will that make it or break it?
Yeah,
yeah. You're right. I'm gonna test it out. Alrighty, guys. So this was a great topic. I loved it, and it was so
really
much fun to have you with us.
Yes. Thank you, Giselle, for coming.
You for having me.
And I know, like, you know, there's a few of our podcasters missing, but they were excited that you were coming in. Yeah.
And it was fun. It was very fun. And the topic, I learned a lot. I'm like, I learned a lot.
Did too. Yeah,
I did. I feel like I learned
you
a
open
lot
your
too.
eyes, right?
After here, nos vamos a ir bien con los ojotes todos pelones.
Karina was like,
Qué chingados.
what's around here?
Ahorita, my car ride back home, talking to Beta, telling her, girl, you better look at your surroundings. Do not talk to no little random kids.
If you do,
I gotta go to the gas station after this. I'm gonna be on the lookout.
Oh my God.
I'm scared now, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it to the test. I'm sweating. If I go missing, y'all know what's up.
ya empezó con anxiety.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Watch, you're gonna pull up to the gas station. Yesy, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yesy, I left.
You guys should share locations.
No, do you know that Karina and Joanna, you share locations?
Yeah,
with
I
your
share
brother?
locations with my brother, my older sister. Yeah, the one that I need to do is my mom. When she recently had an accident,
it would have came in handy.
It would have came in handy because we
Yeah.
couldn't find her. We called all the police departments and we could not find her at all.
God.
So yeah, that's a very good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, so
Wow.
girl,
Share your
send me your
location.
location, girl. Share it with me.
They
It's for
gonna be
your own
like,
good.
I see you over here. Can you bring me some?
I'm like, we just sell today.
seemed like te debo el amor, Giselle. Bring me some. Bring me a candle from
Bath and Body Works,
girl. I'm running out of this fragrance.
You're there. Don't lie to me.
No, but it's for a good cause.
Good reasons.
I promise I won't check unless mom tells me there's something going on. And I'll be like,
True.
Mom, don't worry. Let me check.
And that's what Jessica does. When Joanna doesn't answer, I call her. I'm like, or mine's not working, because sometimes if I don't have good service, it doesn't show me, which sucks. Which I'm like, damn, if you know, if
really
I need to find my family member, I can't because of my freaking service.
Yeah.
And I tell her, hey, ¿dónde está Joanna? She's not answering. It's like, oh, she's at her suegra's house, and I'll be like, that bitch, not picking up. Not picking up.
She just doesn't want to talk to
Yeah,
me.
she want to talk to me. Thank you for tuning in to this episode featuring our first guest, Giselle.
And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms.
And this was
Ready or not, Latinas, here we come.